Can I tell you something that might change the way you see yourself today? There are two versions of you. There's the version you see when you look in the mirror, the one with the history, the mistakes, the doubts, the failures, the one who knows every reason you're not qualified. And then there's the version God sees. And I promise you, those two versions look nothing alike. Most of us spend our entire lives making decisions based on the version of ourselves we see, not the version God sees. We don't apply for the dream because we're not qualified. We don't step into leadership because we're not ready. We don't believe the promise because we're not good enough. We think humility means agreeing with every negative thing we've ever heard about ourselves. But here's the thing, that's not humility. That's a lie dressed up in humility's clothes. Real humility isn't thinking less of yourself. Real humility is agreeing with what God says about you. And God's opinion of you? It's very different from yours. Let's go back to Judges 6. Israel is under oppression. A man named Gideon is hiding in a wine press, secretly threshing wheat so his enemies won't see him. He's terrified. He's the youngest son of the weakest family in the smallest tribe. By every measure, he is nobody. And then an angel shows up and says, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Mighty warrior? Gideon is literally hiding in a hole in the ground. But God didn't call Gideon what Gideon was. God called Gideon what Gideon was becoming. God saw the general in the man who was hiding. God saw the deliverer in the man who was afraid. God saw the warrior in the man who saw nothing but weakness. That's the version God sees, not where you are, but where he's taking you. Now look at Moses in Exodus 3 and 4. God appears in a burning bush. He tells Moses, "I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt." And Moses' response? He had a list. Who am I to do this? What if they don't believe me? I can't speak well. Send someone else. 4 excuses, 4 reasons Moses disqualified himself. And God answered every single one, because God wasn't looking at Moses' weaknesses. God was looking at the deliverer he had placed inside a broken, stuttering, fugitive shepherd. Your excuses are not news to God. He knew every single one of them before he called you, and he called you anyway. That's not an accident. That's a statement. And then there's Peter, the man who denied Jesus 3 times, who fell asleep in the garden, who sank when he tried to walk on water, who swore he would die for Jesus and then ran. But Jesus looked at that impulsive, emotional, failure-prone fisherman and said, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church." Jesus gave Peter a new name before Peter had done anything to deserve it. That's how God operates. He doesn't wait until you're polished. He doesn't wait until you have it together. He doesn't wait until you've stopped failing. He calls you in the middle of your mess, and he names you by your destiny, not your history. Peter the denier became Peter the preacher who started the church. What are you letting your history tell you that your destiny is waiting to contradict? So let me ask you something. What version of yourself are you living from today? Because there's the version that was shaped by every rejection, every failure, every person who told you that you were too much or not enough. And then there's the version God has been seeing since before you were born. Jeremiah 1:5 says God knew you before he formed you in the womb. He set you apart. He appointed you. That's not a version of you that exists someday. That's a version of you that exists right now in the eyes of God. Every time you hear that voice that says you're not enough, not ready, not qualified, I want you to ask yourself one question. Is that what God says, or is that what fear says? Because one of those voices is lying to you, and it's not God. If this spoke to you today, drop a comment below and tell me which story hit you the hardest, Gideon, Moses, or Peter. I read every single one. And if you're watching this and you've been disqualifying yourself from something God has been calling you toward, share this with someone who needs to hear it. You are not the version you see. You are the version he sees. Walk in that.